Derek, just what does it mean to be a speaker of this event that means so much to the Wolfpack community tonight?
Yeah, I'm surprised they asked me because I know I'm a Bulldog, but no, it's I'm honored, coming from the Bay Area and coming out here. I've told my wife and we've told a lot of people that everyone in Nevada has just treated us like family. They've taken us in as their own, and for me to be a Bulldog and for them to do that, it means a lot because rivalries run deep sometimes. So to be asked to do this was an absolute yes for me because it's an honor to be able to come here and be able to help out in any way that we can.
What made you decide to give the funds back to the Wolfpack athletic department?
Yeah, that people find stuff out too easy. I'm all about helping athletics. Sports has obviously changed my life, has changed my wife's life. Sports is going to change my children's life and their children's life because we've been blessed to do it at a high level. And I want to be able to give those opportunities to everybody. I have not just my boys, but I have a daughter too. And to be able to give those opportunities to men's and women's sports, it's a great opportunity if it doesn't do anything else than just to be around people from all different walks of life and have friends that will last lifetimes. I have college teammates that come see me all the time in Las Vegas that live in New York or live in California, and it's really cool that sports has done that. So I didn't need to accept anything. I want to be able to give back a little bit of what I can to here in Nevada, even though I may root for the Bulldogs every now and then.
Is there any moment of your Fresno State career that stands out to you while you were playing Nevada that you still recall to this day?
Yes, I have a lot of memories, especially you remember the ones where you get hit the most. I remember those, but we did win a couple games against Nevada, but I'll never forget I think it was my junior year, and we're playing here or down in Reno, and it was -8. Felt like -8, windy, and I go to walk on the field with my cleats, and the field was frozen, and I was like, wow, praying that I did not get hit that day. I'm not trying to land on this concrete, but I remember playing against a lot of very, very talented football players that played in the NFL for a long time, and some guys they have them coming every year, it seems like, but I do remember, something that people get mad at me. I do remember diving in with one hand for a touchdown, and maybe that's why I fumbled a couple times in the NFL. I got too used to it in college, but I think of all the memories against playing against some of the friends I had, again, it's a rivalry. We're not supposed to have friends, but we were all buddies. So I just remember talking trash with those guys and having those good memories. But never forget how cold it was. It doesn't get like that in Fresno. 32 is about as cold as it gets in Fresno.
It doesn't get like that in Vegas either. And just speaking of Vegas, you mentioned a little bit about your family, but what does it mean for the Raiders now being in Las Vegas? How has the community as a whole, the state of Nevada, just taken you guys in and supported you?
Well, yeah, my wife and I, we said, as soon as we moved here, we were like, this is home, it was just different, and we love California. We're both born there, love California, love the Bay Area, and our fans in the Bay Area still love them. They're so passionate and diehard. But when we moved here, there's so many professional sports teams, in the Bay Area. And so you just kind of fit in with whatever crowd likes you, and if you're not winning, they don't like you as much. That's professional sports. But when we came here, it felt like college again. Like the whole state has just wrapped us around, whether I'm in Tahoe or, Carson City or Reno or Vegas, wherever, Henderson, wherever I'm at, people just are like, you're our team. This is what we're here to do, is support you and help you in any way. And the way I've seen people treat my wife and treat my children, it's really just been beautiful to me. That's what I care about the most. When you're moving, people don't, you only think about the sport, but we had to find a new church, we got to find new schools, we got to find new friends to hang out with, and all those kind of things besides just our teammates, right? And it happened so easy here. It reminded me a lot of my time in Texas, when I lived in Houston. Everyone's so friendly, waving at you, opening the door for you. And I was like, that's kind of what I'm used to. And I called Governor Sir today, and he's like, you don't have to do that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just used to it. But I just have loved how much the state, not just Vegas, but the whole state has just put their arms around my wife and I and my children. It's been awesome. So anytime that we can come back and do anything for anybody to help the state, we're all about it.
Just what's a couple words you would use to describe the Raiders' first season at Allegiant Stadium, making history in the state?
Oh yeah, I mean that's really cool. That's what an amazing team to be a part of, right? We all got a football signed by everybody on that team because it'll forever be the only first team to ever play, Las Vegas Raiders, right? And it's such an honor to be able to be the quarterback of this team for this state, and I don't take it for granted. I work extremely hard to make sure that this is what I get to do as long as I can do it, as long as the Lord will let my body keep up, and to be a part of something that is so historic, not just in the football sense, but in the state, right? It'll be a trivia question someday when I'm 100 years old and no one will know who I am, but it'll definitely be a cool thing for my kids to look at.
Just what's your message to players in the Mountain West who are hoping to get drafted one day like you did?
Oh yeah, don't worry about the rankings. We were laughing about that. Someone told me that Carson's, the 5th ranked quarterback. I was like, playing the Mountain West, buddy, they're not going to rank you first. It just is what it is. But out of all the guys that were ranked ahead of me, I'm still playing. And you just keep every single day deciding to outwork everybody. This morning before I flew here, I'm up at 5 o'clock. Because there's work that needs to be done before I get to do other things, play golf and do other things. And so, especially with 4 kids, I got to wake up extra early because they like to get up early now. So to make sure I have time with them, I got to get up early. But just keep working hard. Don't worry about where you're drafted. Don't worry about all that stuff. The main thing I tell guys all the time is when they do see that they could potentially play in the NFL, is especially from the Mountain West, don't worry. That's going to come. Don't worry about all that. If you're good enough, they'll find you anywhere. We hear stories about guys coming from small schools all the time, but the daily reminder to just work hard, be a great teammate, be a blessing, not a burden to your community, and work your tail off. I mean, that's all I've done. I've been around guys that are bigger than me, faster, stronger. Some can throw better, maybe. Well, that's debatable. But I've been around people that have all those intangibles, but I just decided to outwork them, and that's I'm going on my 8th year, 30 years old, 4 kids. I'm a winner no matter what, and I just tell them to keep going. Doesn't matter if you're at Nevada, Fresno State. If you're good enough, they'll find you. Just be a good teammate and work hard.
Just, I guess, how would you, what would you tell some of the players who are maybe dealing with that added pressure a little bit maybe this year, like Carson, and you said don't worry about those rankings, but to still focus at the same time and to play for your team?
Yeah, well, number one is if you don't complete the ball, they're not going to want you anyway. So there's enough to worry each play, and don't worry so much about the other stuff. You got to worry about your day-to-day preparation. You got to, for me, if we're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, well, I'm going to be there at 5:30. There's so much preparation, and I got to make sure my body's ready to practice. I got to make sure that my mind, I know everything about my assignment that day. And there's so much to worry about just in that day that today's worries have enough for itself. I don't need to worry about tomorrow. And for me, I'm a faithful man, so I just let God handle what He has for me, tomorrow. And I'm worried about just taking care of what He's given me today and trying to steward that the best that I can. And it's worked out for me. I went to college and thinking about all those things, but I just decided to keep my mind focused on the day-to-day. I met my wife there, and we started our family there, and I've been able to see my name retired on the stadium, and all these cool things happen. But it wasn't because I was worried about those things happening someday. I just stuck to every day, making sure that I was trying to be the best man I could be and be the best football player I could be.
Time for 2 more there. Any thoughts about the upcoming football season, especially the Mountain West Conference?
Yeah, well, Mountain West football is the best conference in the whole world, isn't it? I don't know if the SEC wants those problems, but I think that the Mountain West is. I always tell people that they're like, what was it like playing the Mountain West? I said, well, one, it's cold. It's very cold. The WAC. I played in the WAC conference too. That's how old I am. The Mountain West Conference always has some amazing talent. You go to Wyoming and you're playing against DBs that are playing in the NFL. You go over to Nevada again, you're playing against defensive linemen and linebackers. Linebackers who are my teammates in the NFL. Trying to make those guys miss isn't so easy. You play against at the time it was Utah State had Bobby Wagner, who's one of the best middle linebackers in the game. And so I tell people all the time that maybe we don't match up from player 1 to player 100, but our players 1 through 30 will give anybody a run for their money. And so I'm excited to watch the Mountain West. And you know, for my wife and I rooting for the teams here in Nevada is going to be weird and new to us, right? You know, but we definitely do. I definitely support them. You know, until they play the Bulldogs, then you know my heart hurts. You know, but you know that's just where my family started. But I'm excited to watch. But for us, I'm ready to go. You know, I can't sit still. My wife's telling me she's ready for me to go to training camp because I'm ready. I'm ready to play football.
Starts like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, we start literally in 10 days. Yeah, in 10 days we start, and I'm ready to rock.
Time for one more. No?
Wolfpack or the Rebels? Everybody here probably wants to.
Wolfpack, Wolfpack. I know when I'm outnumbered. I'm smarter than that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.